What's up? It's very hot, very sticky, and it's Sunday. And yeah, and I decided to stream because why not? Not outside, not playing, kind of waiting on some information. Bob, non-fam, if anyone wants to come in and hang out, they are more than welcome to. Let's pin that. So it's there all the time. So yeah, it now should, in reality, say Thomllama on the top. Hey Jerry, come on in and hang out. Should say Thomllama instead of the 3D printing llama now, which is kind of funny because I had Thomllama like 12 years ago. It's still there. If you do a search on YouTube, you'll still get it. There's like 6 or 8 mountain biking videos I did. Yeah. So I lost the password to it, plus the company I was getting internet access through or emails through was Faster Mac, which was Mac Sales or Other World Computing. They still exist, but DSL came along. It was a dial-up. That's how long ago it was. DSL and cable and high-speed internet came along, and it went away. I had no longer had access to the email, so I could never get my account back. So after 12 years, they finally released the name again, and I stole it back. And it's still there. If you do a Thomllama search on YouTube, you'll still get the old one. There's still an old Thomllama user from way back, still there. Those videos are still there of me riding through the snow. Back in the day. Hey, I just got an email from YouTube saying I'm live. But it does say 3DPrintingLlama is now, okay, yeah. I was going to say, it said 3DPrintingLlama, but that's the title of the thing. 3DPrintingLlama is now Thomllama. So anyway, I spent the last couple of days switching everything over. The only thing that's still attached, the email is still going to be 3DPrintingLlama because I already had a Thomllama email. Blah, blah, blah. But I think I can switch that too, but I just haven't gotten into it. So anyways, somebody hop in here. Let's hang out. It's Sunday. Stuff to not do. I was out fairly late last night. Should be the real Thomllama. Chris, you got to get in here. Come in here because we want to hear all about Murph. 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 Why do all the Rip Rap festivals sound like dogs barking or howling at the moon? Murph. 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 Dogs barking. Rip Rap festivals are just dogs barking sounds. It's a prerequisite to the name. It has to sound like a dog barking. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm printing stuff, which I haven't really run the printers in a while, and it just came to me that, stop taking a baseball bat to yourself. You won't be beat. No, I bet you are. But we want to hear about Murph. Murph. Terry.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, guys?
Your gain on your mic is really loud.
I'm really loud?
It's not that it's loud and you're getting feedback.
Yeah, I've got something going on crazy with OBS. Let me check my mic here.
That's why I don't use OBS. I just deal with StreamYards Direct these days.
Yeah, I want to switch cameras, and I don't have it set up to not work.
Yeah, screw the camera. I got one camera. That's all I need. Who the hell wants to see more detailed freaking vision of this crap? Anyway. So what's up, Jerry?
Oh, not much. Printing a SN9 rocket from Fab 365 goo.
Yeah, Chris, I wouldn't expect there to be. It was kind of short notice. I mean, in reality, most of the vendors, plan 6 months ahead and what they're going to do. And would they have like 8 weeks, 6 weeks to freaking plan everything? Which is, I don't know. And it was still up in the air. I mean, right down to the line. I mean, a lot of people weren't sure they would be able to make it. And Jerry's gone again.
Hold on.
He OBS'd himself right out of the picture.
Testing.
Much better.
Sound better?
Yeah, sounds
already
great.
Then. Yeah, I wanted to go to Murph this year because of all going on. I didn't think that many people should show up, and they didn't. It looked like it was a little bit less than half full.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, I'm glad they did it. There's a lot of people who shouldn't have done it, and they probably shouldn't have, but I'm glad they did, and I'm glad that it was a low, person count. So
I heard it was really humid there, and then water on the floor didn't help that at all.
Yeah, and they, I don't know, it just got the atmosphere back, I think. I kind of wish Earth was going. I know they're not. I get why they're not. I totally back up their decision. Just, I still kind of wish they had done it because I might have gone to Earth in September.
Yeah, Chris Travis, I've seen you on many people's cameras. Let's see, Dan was streaming. Tripod dropped into my stream while he was there for a little bit. Matt Farmer from 3D Print Noob was walking around with a cell phone, which had perfect reception. So I know their internet there wasn't too good with so many people being on the Wi-Fi, but if you're on your cell phone, the quality was perfect. So I seen Chuck and Joel making that big old card. Jim's doing some taping for them.
Yeah, I'm glad they did it in some ways. I don't know. As long as we don't have a bunch of people walking away with, diseases afterwards.
I'm thinking if I go next year, if I take a second suitcase, I could put my banner in it, print up a whole bunch of goodies over the period of a year, my laptop, which I don't own a good laptop yet, have all that in one suitcase. I could actually set up a table, but,
Yeah. I don't know. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Like I said, I kind of wish they hadn't done it. I'm kind of glad they did do it. It's kind of one of those toss of the dice things, but whatever. They did it, and it looked like it was a good time, so there's that.
Yeah, Richard acts like he didn't know who you were in chat. It's like, that kind of surprised me.
Who?
Richard Cleveland, the first layer that you were watching earlier.
Oh, he probably, I don't really talk to him all that much. I don't think they really do know who I am, other than the occasional.
Well, I
changed the name over the weekend. They might not even recognize it.
Anybody 3D printing, I try to be familiar with on YouTube.
They don't really hang out here, and I don't really hang out there that much. I don't catch their streams too often. They're always on weird hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Joe, what Joel did with that Ender 7. He cut the front of it off. He didn't have a cutoff wheel, though. He was using a grinding wheel. I'm like, dude, you need a cutoff wheel. You'd have buzzed right through that. But
yeah, I know. I saw that, too.
So
here's the thing. I don't know if you've looked at that thing, but that's what I call an I-frame. It's actually not, because there's a leg in the back. But it's not held up on all four corners. It's held up by two center struts on either side. There's a third one in the back that holds the bed and ties the whole thing. But it's an I-frame. If you look at the side of it, there's a cross beam, a single leg, and the base. I-frame. That's what I'm calling it. Anyway, I have a feeling him cutting that out, if he grabbed those two top frames, I bet they wobble around like freaking nothing. The only thing really holding them in place anymore is the X key entry sliding back and forth. I don't think he should have cut that out.
Then the knot in the back, he said he couldn't get his fingers in there to properly adjust it, so that's a error.
Yeah, But at least they put that adjuster. That's one thing that all of my printers have. Every one of my printers have a X height or a Z height adjuster. It's just a screw. This is the number one reason I don't use auto bed leveling. You don't need it. All you need is one screw. You flatten, tram your bed, and you never move it again. Then, you change your build plate, you turn that screw a half a turn, and boom, you're off and running. It actually takes less time for me to adjust than running all that auto bed leveling crap. And everyone's like, oh, they don't have to do anything. You're running auto bed leveling. I'm too impatient for auto bed leveling. It takes too long. I could literally turn a nut and my whole Z height changes. I don't need to baby step ever. I don't need to adjust anything ever. The only thing I adjust for is if I change the build plate, I go from a PEI to a build tack to a, blue tape, whatever. I just got to adjust that screw. And it's easy. I mean, I literally put the nozzle in the middle, take the piece of paper, do the whole slide thing. I don't do it at all four corners. I just do it once in the middle, boom, done, and off I go. And I never have a problem because none of it gets moved. It's all done with one simple adjuster. And I don't know why, like all the manual adjusting Crealities and everything, they have the slider for the end stop. Why don't they have like a stupidly simple screw to adjust? So you flatten your bed.
Yeah.
If it's too far off the nozzle or too close or whatever, just flatten the bed, trim it out. Then you're not sitting there playing with all four screws to get it right. You only got one. Once you have it flat. I don't know why they haven't incorporated that. I've been doing it for years. Other people do it. I actually designed one with Brian Vines for the Ender 3 to do it, and he never thought he was going to do a video on it. He never did.
Here's that SN11 I printed by Goo, Fab365.net. Really cool, only $5.99. It's got little legs on it to flip down. It's got 3 Raptors in it.
You blow my mind.
Nice little model.
7 rolls of filament. Any good filament? Thinking of filament, they keep advertising that on the Canadians mostly, because I guess it's up there. M3D filament, whatever that is. And all I can think of, holy crap.
Hold on.
That M3D, I had an M3D printer. And they keep going, oh, M3D is great. And it's like, no, it's not. And then they're like talking about this Meta or Metro 3D filament that has recently been out 6 months a year. And then, they go, M3D is awesome. And I'm like, no, M3D sucks. And I realized they're not talking about M3D, the printer company. They're talking about M3D, the Canadian filament company. I believe they're Canadian. You really should have come up with a different name. M3D is just bad. It's got a bad rap. Whatever happened to M3D? I wonder. Green Gate's good. Filament 1's good. I have no idea about the Capricorn. I heard they were selling filament. I didn't know it was actually available like out there. I wonder who makes it.
There's only so many companies, and only so many companies buy from so many companies and rebrand. So
yeah,
and then a lot of filament.
I don't
Not
think
all filament is the same, but a lot of filament is the same. So
yeah, filament 1 isn't rebrand. Green Gate isn't rebrand. I don't know if Capricorn is making it or if they're rebranding. I'm assuming they probably actually are rebranding.
I bought 10 rolls of PLA Plus a couple days ago from GST 3D. They had their special again, $99.90 for 10 rolls free shipping.
Come hang out, Jake. We haven't seen you on stream in like years.
Hey, Jake, how you doing? Yeah, it's been a while. Or I seen him in chat a few days ago, and then I haven't seen him on
yeah, I have that same feeling, and I don't know why. Not that that's bad. I actually like Hello 3D's filament. That's what a lot of Josh's like odd colors are Hello 3D,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing wrong with them.
That's cool. Printed solids delivering to Canada now, but you got to spend $300 or more, and then you'll get free shipping to Canada. So that's cool.
Yeah. Well, we're I think 100 to get free shipping here.
45.
Is it 45? No. Yeah, you're right, because it's the third roll. If I buy 2 rolls, I don't get it. If I buy a third roll, I get it.
Yeah, Ziltech, it used to be 75 or more, and they're still doing a discount program. They haven't went back to $75 or more getting free shipping with Ziltech. So it's still
filament. Every time I use it, it's been an issue. It's always jamming, and the kid I sold the Max Micron to brought it home, called me up like 3 times in the first week. It keeps jamming. You know, and I'd walk him through fixing it and cleaning it out. And finally, I said, "What are you using for filament?" He said, "Ziltech." I said, I gave him like 2 like half rolls. One of them was printed solid, and another one was something else. I said, "Try something else. Just try something else besides the Ziltech one." Never heard from him again. He's like, "Yep, I got a thing. Yeah, it works great."
Yeah, I know they had trouble years ago because TH3D used to use it all the time. And then by the time I started using it, I haven't had issues. I haven't bought any in 3 or 4 months from them because I still have some laying around, but I haven't had trouble when I did buy it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people use it and they say it's great. Every time I've tried it, I mean, I haven't used it a lot. It just always had issues.
3D Soltech is really nice. Haven't bought that in a while because when all the stuff started going on, all the prices went up. So a lot of stuff I don't buy that I used to buy.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I pretty much buy printed solid now, and that's about it.
Yeah.
It's really, I just don't, I mean, I'm not doing fancy, like, dust collecting, shelf sitting stuff much. I mean, I got a shelf full there, and they're all old, and I'm done with it. I like to do vases once in a while just because they're stupid fast and they're cool, and you can make something big, in an hour or 2.
Yeah.
And I think vases look cool, but I don't need pretty filament. I have a bunch of protopasta I'm going to probably have to throw out. The last time I tried to use it, it was so brittle, even in my boxes. It's all like 3 years old now.
Yeah.
I never use it. I'm gonna start just using it. That's the problem with the good filaments, the protopastas and elixirs and polyalchemy. Well, polyalchemy is elixir, but you buy it and you're like, "This is so beautiful. I gotta have that special print for it." And then that special print never comes along, and the crap sits there and rots away in your box or in a bag. Or
yeah, every time I grab a partial roll to finish a piece of a print, I'll pull off about a foot, and if I can snap it, then I pull off another foot, and I can snap it. Pull off another foot, then I can bend it, and it stays bent. It's like, you know what? If I can't find a good place to go, I just throw it in the garbage. But usually it's not much on the roll when that happens.
Yep. I really love, most of the time, I love, he's actually a rebrander too, although he's a custom rebrander in the sense that he's not just sticking a label on, it's his colors, but Snow Lab. I believe Hello 3D makes theirs. I'm not positive on that, but I believe Hello 3D is actually the manufacturer for him, but his colors are all custom. And his mixture is custom. He actually doesn't, it's not a standard mixture. But anyway, some of his standard PLAs, I love the fancy colors. I love the polycarbonate. Oh my God, his polycarbonate blend is to die for. If you're going to play with polycarbonate, don't even think about it. For one, he's got like a 50% discount on your first roll if you want to play with it. I think it's 25 or 50%. He changes it all the time, but I think it's 25% actually now. Anyway, if you want to play with polycarbonate, Snow Lab is the bomb. It's a blend. It's not a pure polycarbonate, which is nice because it prints at 250, not 275. It's a little lower temperature. It's super strong. I'm using it as parts and hubcaps and crap on my leaf thing, and it's holding up better than the actual injected molded ABS stuff is. You can't break it. Even on the layer lines, it just doesn't come apart. Stuff is wicked good. Yeah, filament one's good. I actually got a little filament one right here. I actually got this for free from. I won this on Halloween giveaway a couple years ago or a year ago.
Come up, Jim. How you doing?
And that's the first I've ever used it, and I like it. It works fine. Works beautiful. What the hell did I print with it? They should be right here. Here they are. They're little holders for my drills next to my CNC because I'm tired of walking all the way across the garage to get my drill and stuff and coming all the way back to the CNC machine. So I'm going to put my two little Milwaukees right at the CNC. I print a little glue filament one, and it prints beautiful. I mean, that's awesome.
Looks nice.
It's just when I won it, Josh is like, "What color do you want? I got all these colors. Choose one." I'm like, "Dude, just give me the one that you're not selling." Because again, I don't. It's funny. I love the colors, and then I never worry about them because I'm printing stuff. I'm not printing, practical prints. I'm not printing looky dooky, sit on the shelf, gotta look pretty stuff. So I don't generally care what color it is. And of course, he sends me this like wicked expensive gold color. Like, dude, you were supposed to just send me the cheapest thing you can't sell. And he goes, I don't sell it. Nobody wants it. It's too expensive. I was like, oh, okay. It's actually for gold. I'm not a big gold guy, and this is actually kind of nice. It's almost.
How's your mom doing?
All right. She's been sick the last couple of days. She didn't even want to go to church today, which was unusual.
But
she won't throw out food. She's one of those. She'll leave it in the refrigerator for a month and then goes in and takes out a yogurt that's been there for a couple 3 months and eats it. And I'm like, Mom, you can't do that. It's food. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all sealed.
SBC, how you doing?
Food doesn't last, Mom. It's like, oh, we can freeze everything. It's like, no, you can't. It still gets gross.
Yeah, everything gets freezer burned if you leave it in the freezer too long.
Food just doesn't last forever. The average food, you go to the grocery store and you just put it in the refrigerator, has a week shelf life. Anything over a week, throw it out. If it's in the refrigerator. I mean, pasta and stuff like that kind of can go forever until the bugs get in it. But your basic meats and vegetables, they're a week.
I was drinking my glass of milk a few days ago when I grabbed a couple of cookies, sat on the couch, I bought a great big glass of milk. I'm drinking, I set it down, I go to get another drink, and there's a great big effing fly in it floating around. It's like, son of a biscuit. And I don't want to dump my milk out, so I just scooped him out and, smushed him and smushed him, kept drinking it. But, yeah.
It's kind of gross. Whatever.
So
get your immune system kicked up.
Yeah.
It's like
I didn't want to lose it.
Yeah. I don't know. Tom and Jerry. I didn't even think of that. So anyway, you're having your big giveaway next week, huh?
Yeah, like 30-something prizes, worldwide and U.S. A lot of it's U.S.-based, lots of STLs, lots of filament from a lot of companies, resin, a couple gift cards.
Nobody wants to show up because I don't want them to show up because I want to win it all.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's like when I'm on a live stream and I want to win, I don't want nobody to show up, so I want better odds. But the person giving away, I hope hundreds of people show up, actually, because that's, I hope. But
little sample from John Mack.
Yeah.
I still got a bunch of those. I was playing that game when my father was sick and he was going to the doctors a couple Halloweens ago, three years ago on Halloween. I got the stupid stool sample. Yeah, I got a buttload of those things. Yep. And I was printing them out left and right and bringing them to the doctors. Oh, my God. Some of the nurses, I had one, I thought she was going to pee herself. She was laughing.
Yeah, I went to the doctor's office for getting checked out for my surgery, and they had these in the bathroom for women or whoever for whatever reason. I grabbed a couple, put them in my pocket, and then when I came back the next week, I printed out a stool and gave it to my doctor, and she had quite a kick out of it. So.
Well, the funny thing is that the one nurse that laughed so hard was actually expecting a stool sample. I mean, we had a real stool sample from my father for it, and I handed her that, figuring, she'd look at it and go, what the hell is this? And start laughing. And no, she just like stuck the label on it, stuck it in the bag, it's got to go back out to the testing facility.
She wasn't paying attention.
Out to the testing facility. I'm like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, don't you even look at what you're, all right, I can see they don't want to look at somebody's poop. So also she like stops her track and she like shakes it and she goes, oh, and then, it like clicked what it was in her head and she started laughing. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I heard Dan had to leave early because his dog or something got out, so he wasn't at Murph today. Just there yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know if I could take 3 days of it. I
don't know if I go down there. What should I go? Just for a Saturday and a Sunday, or go for a Friday and a Saturday? I don't know. Next year, I don't know.
Yeah,
with all the expense,
Friday and Saturday. It seems like everyone bolts on Sunday. That's what I did at IRF. I left at like noon on Sunday. That was the very first IRF ever, whatever year it was. I don't remember what year it was, but
I'll figure out where I can get a plane in at and what's convenient. Whether I want to go to IRF, go to Murph, I have to figure out, what I can actually do and cost effectively. Hello, Mike.
Murph is, from what I understand, I've never been to Murph, but Murph is more like a hangout. IRF is more like a production display. They are really organized and have like, different things going on and a stage and,
Yeah.
IRF is really high end. What's up, Lightspeed?
Lightspeed's gone.
Didn't he go to Murph?
I didn't see him there.
He was at Murph yesterday.
Okay.
Pretty sure he went up there. But
checking out everybody's videos. I didn't know.
I don't know if he ever made it. Did you ever make it to Murph there, Lightspeed? Okay, what's up with all the freaking lightning bolts? Well, it's kind of obnoxious. Did you ever get your car all fixed up? The only thing I don't like about the Teslas, I love the Tesla. I think it's a beautiful car. I like the look of them. I like the, design of them. I like everything about them until it comes to service. And then you're just stuck with their crap. And I don't mind being stuck with their stuff. I use Apple. I don't mind that you have to use their stuff. What I don't like is there isn't any. You have to use their stuff and yet you can't get it.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. He's charging.
Oh, yeah. I am charging. That's right. We're charging.
I can tell because I can actually see the little Tesla sign behind you.
Turn your phone sideways, it'll go full screen.
Yeah. Oh,
there you go. Nice. Like sunroof.
Yeah, we just we were at Murph till like 11 last night, and now we're driving home. We're in Indiana.
Indiana.
Oh, you drove down there from Arizona. Okay.
Yeah, we're in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Vegas is 29-hour drive. You're a little bit closer being in Arizona, but not much.
Well, when we came here, it was 39 hours.
Wow.
Like that.
That's a haul.
Yeah, and it all went great until we got to Illinois. That was probably when Illinois is just not a great place. But
heard Dan was talking about road construction somewhere. A lot of road construction.
There's a lot. Well, in Illinois, there was a lot of construction. There's like semi trucks going 90 miles an hour on the bridge. There's toll roads that, listen, I've never seen a toll road. So I ran through, 10 toll roads because I didn't know what to do. They said they're not taking cash, so I didn't know what to do. So I just ran it. So that stressed me out. There's like semi trucks running everywhere, and it was at the end of the trip, and it was a long night. Once we got into Indiana, it was a little bit better, but man, Goshen is out in the middle of flipping nowhere.
Yes, it is.
So,
you see any Amish people running around in horse and buggies?
No, but I heard that they have them there. So
yeah, it's a big Amish area, just outside of Goshen, from what I understand.
It was great. You know, we last night we had dinner with Joel and Chuck and Jim from the Edge of Tech and Dan from Slice, Max from Slice, Green Gate guys. It's kind of weird because under normal Murph circumstances you would probably never get to talk to those guys because they're getting swamped. So
Yeah.
because there wasn't very many people there, it was like literally Joel and Chuck were sitting down there and like nobody was bothering them.
Yeah, it's
So
like, hey, come talk to us. We're right here. We came.
pretty much. In fact, they came over and thanked us for watching them film the little thing that they did there because he goes, I felt like nobody was watching.
Yeah, I seen Matt Farmer was there filming it from 3D Print Noob. I was watching Matt film Jim while they're building it.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to meet Chris Travis. Who else? I got to meet a lot of people actually. It was surprising to me how many people walked up to me and knew who I was, but I had no idea who they were.
So how long do you got to sit there and let that thing charge now?
We're 5 minutes away, so.
Yeah, because they charge in like 20 minutes or half an hour.
Do you have trouble finding charging stations when you go somewhere new? Or does the car tell you where to go?
No, the car tells me where to go, but there's so many chargers. There's way more than you need. Like, you can
Like
stop
that.
there's probably one every 3 to 5 miles. I'm not joking.
You got to pay for it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like this charge full to charge it up to full is going to be $7. So.
Oh, okay, it's not bad.
It cost me
$118 on the way out here. So
that's cheaper than gas.
Oh yeah, for 2,000 miles, hell yeah. And the car, going through like I loved going through Oklahoma because Oklahoma and Texas and New Mexico, it's just straight as an arrow, and I just put it on autopilot, and I'm not joking. Like it passes cars. If car gets too close behind you, it'll move out of its way. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So
as long as you're alert in case something goes wrong, you're good.
Yeah, and I'm always alert because I'm watching YouTube. So
yeah.
So do you sit there and eat lunch like Pooch?
Well, yeah, no, we've done that. We just had shake here.
I could not let. I still have an issue with my car driving me down the road. Ain't gonna happen.
Well, as long as you're paying attention to what it's doing and you're not on a mountain curve somewhere, I'd be worried about that.
Well, yeah, some sensor shorts out, some freaking a rock comes up and takes out some infrared or thingy and doesn't see, or you're dead.
On the curved roads is where it's most impressive. Like, coming out of Indiana, there's a lot of swooping curves and hills and stuff, and yeah, I mean, we just went through torrential downpour, and the car drove through torrential downpour 70 miles an hour, and I mean, I was telling my wife, like, I can't see where we're going, but it can see where we're going.
Oh wow!
So, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's a superior driver to a human, and you do get to a point where you just trust it, I mean,
I have to agree. They're superior to a human until they're not.
My brother was wondering if a semi was autonomous and didn't have a driver and came to road construction. There's a man out there with a sign telling you to go around. How would the truck know how to respond to hand signals?
Even my car recognizes hand signals, and it recognizes road signs. So like they take like Dan was telling you about the road construction. There's all the cones. So they take 3 lanes into 1 lane. And you would think the car wouldn't know that, but the minute it sees cones, it moves away from the cones just like you would, So if there's a stop sign, if there's a stop sign anywhere, it stops. If there's yellow flashing lights, it slows down. It's really impressive. I had to start doing some videos on it because it's like you wouldn't believe some of the stuff this car can do on its own. It's pretty crazy.
So as long as the car doesn't get all muddy and block your sensors and cameras, you should be good.
Yeah, I mean, the sensors are up on the windshield, so
okay.
It would have to be way high up there.
Okay.
But,
so I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube where people are parked in parking lots, other people are carjacking people, and somebody's Tesla filmed all of it.
Yeah. It pretty much films all the way around. So
that's cool. When it's shut off, that way if something happens, you can just go back and check your video, and
Yeah. Well, it's saying it's time to go, so I'm gonna go too. I'll talk to you guys later.
Well, have a safe trip, and thank you for coming on.
All right, guys. Bye.
Take care. Cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed bag about Teslas. I like them. For one, I don't know if you realize this year they just got the award for the most U.S. produced parts in a car. There's only like 2 things not produced in the U.S. on it, and they're like parts that you literally can't get in the U.S.
Replacing the batteries might be astronomical, but it depends. You can afford the car. I guess at some point you trade it in for something different.
Yeah, I mean, the new batteries.
You don't go to sleep and assume it's going to get you there, because like that time it ran into a semi, the semi part pulled out in front of it. Tesla couldn't tell what it was and kept driving and went underneath it. So you got to be alert. You can't be sleeping in your car.
Yeah, I don't really like the self-driving quite yet. I don't really trust it.
I don't like riding with other people. When my sister goes somewhere, I drive. Or when I like being behind the wheel and control.
I don't like being in the car at all.
Oh,
okay. I have major issues. Like I get anxiety attacks. You guys probably don't realize, but I've been in like 30 freaking car accidents. Only one of which I was driving.
You don't drive much now?
As very little as possible.
Okay.
I have 2 vehicles here. I drive them both because I drive my mother's car because she can't drive. And between the 2 of them in the last year, I've probably put 1,000 miles on them.
3D Medic Vince, how you doing?
And I don't.
You do it?
Don't like being in cars. And it's not the car that bothers me. It's other freaking people. If I could drive at 2 o'clock in the morning and not see another person, I'm happier than a pig.
Old curmudgeon. Every time I see his name, I think of 2 old people having sex. Every time I see his name.
You don't know what an old curmudgeon is?
No, I know what old cum is, but not old curmudgeon.
An old curmudgeon is like it was more of a New England thing, I thought. He's way out south, but it's just an old croon. It's an old croon. Curmudgeon.
Okay.
You never heard of old curmudgeon? God,
just him named that, calling himself that. That's the only.
My grandfather used to say that all the time.
Right.
I'm just an old curmudgeon.
Yeah, I've been in a new car on a test drive on a new car if I'm a passenger in the back seat. When I was a little kid, I get car sick. It's something about the air in the car or something, I don't know. But when I'm driving, it doesn't bother me. But I don't like being a passenger, typically.
I don't really care either way. I just don't want to be in the car at all.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be in the car.
I'd rather drive than fly, but if I go to Murph or Earth, I'll have to fly. I can't imagine driving from Vegas that far.
Well, it's when you hook up with him. He's not that far out from you. You drive like diagonally over and meet up with him and have him take you up next year.
Yeah, I don't know that he'd want to do that, but yeah, you never know.
Never know. I just don't. I don't like cars. Don't like being in them.
I'll get a new truck when I turn 62, but that's 5 years away. I'll get my Social Security at 62, and then I can afford a nice, badass vehicle.
I've been on, other than the 10 miles here in town, I went to Boston once to drop my mother off last year after we had the power outage for like a week and a half after the big storm. And before that was Earth. It was the longest, and I did not like driving to Earth. That was going through New York City. Oh, I hate driving through New York City. And I did it at 2 o'clock in the night. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I went through New York City, and it was like rush hour. It was insane how many people were on the highway at 2 o'clock in the morning. Probably all drunk. Going through New York City.
The old curmudgeon, that's kind of like what my brother's turning in to be. He's 65 now. And he's starting to bitch and complain and whine about everything like Tom does. And I'm thinking, dude, don't turn into that person. When you were younger, you knew older people that were like that. Don't be that. And I won't. I won't become that person.
Yep, he's an old curmudgeon.
I'm still 35 inside, and I will always be that way, even though I may look different. I'll just, if I start getting wrinkles, I'll turn the knob on the back of my head and, stretch them out a little bit.
I'm not quite, honestly, I'm surprised someone hasn't come up with a movie, like a comedy movie, The Old Curmudgeon. That would be a good movie. Get like, I don't know, some crazy old man
Yeah, your internet was kind of spotty yesterday. Is that why you dropped off my stream?
It's weird. If I go onto someone else's stream on the garage, or I mean on the iPad, it won't work. If
you're hardwired
I'm
here,
using the iPad, and there's like more than 1 or 2 people on the stream, it just freaks out. It can't handle the video or something. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, you're hardwired right now into your router.
No, it's Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi is literally right there.
Okay.
It's only 10 feet away.
You need to get a repeater or something that might work, but I couldn't.
There's a whole it's not that. There's a better Wi-Fi out there. I have a better router out there. My brother bought this like super high-end corporate freaking huge Wi-Fi router. It's like all my neighbors are stealing off of it now because it's better than this thing. It's better than the stock Comcast. It's not the Wi-Fi out there. It's the iPad. The iPad cannot handle multiple video sources on StreamYard. Something about StreamYards and like it would have a hard time with the two of us. If we brought a third person in and I was using the iPad, it would freak out, even in here.
There's my multicolored Prusa Mini with the extension kit on it, legs on it. I put a drawer in it underneath instead of the spool.
Yeah, I like that kit on that thing. I've always, when they came out with that, I was like, that's kind of a waste. And then you look at it and you're like, it's kind of cool.
It looks really rigid like a 4-wheel drive truck. It's real beefy. Yeah.
I always thought of, when I first thought of it, all I could think of was the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The legs of the Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower legs.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I didn't have any orange and black, so I went with blue, purple, and yellow. So I got my own colors on it. You know, something different.
I hate orange and black. Can you tell? The pumpkin is printing away. It is printing a new dust boot because I'm tired of the half.
I was really surprised how the Prusa Mini is so user friendly. If somebody knew absolutely nothing about 3D printing, it tells you everything on the screen. There's no guesswork. If you need help, they respond that quick. If you need a part, they send it out in 3 days from the Czech Republic. I mean, you know, I've had, other than it took forever to put it together, I've had good experiences with it.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes Prusa. I mean, you're paying for Prusa.
Yeah, Mike, the spool holder I printed out and I was using, but the filament I have on there from GST 3D is just a hair wider, and I was too lazy to get a screwdriver and spread this open just a little bit, so I threw a different one on temporarily for what I'm printing. But I do use the one that came with it. There's not much filament on the spool. It's driving itself off the rollers.
I made my own spool holder like freaking 10 years ago or whatever it was. And I've been using them ever since, and I like it. It's just a simple little spool holder.
Yeah. I think my design came from, oh no, where did I get this one? It was pre-made. Something I bought came with this one. It's acrylic. I forget what I got, where this came from. It says filament by written on it.
I've used those like you got there, the Prusa one, and I've had so many times where something gets knocked or it pull, you know, it like tightens up and all of a sudden the filament like springs loose and it'll pop it right off of that holder.
Yeah, somebody sent me something. I don't remember who it was, and this spool holder was in it. I can't remember. So I just put zip ties on it together, and I went out in the garage earlier and I found a pole on the shelf, a brush for something. I put it in my chop saw and whacked it, and you know, so.
Everybody has their favorite, just like everything else.
But I'm having fun printing a little rocket. I obviously I don't need to be printing anything, but I don't have any rockets, so now this will be my second one. I've got the first one I did by Fab 365, and that's in 9, I believe it is. I'm printing now. It'll be fairly tall, so why not? And I need to get rid of all these models. I thought about throwing a bunch of them away, and people are like, no, somebody will buy it. Even if you have layer lines, somebody will want it for X amount of dollars. So maybe when it cools down, I can try to have a yard sale out front, which hopefully if I list it long enough, maybe a bunch of people will show up and, I'll give you $10, $20, and I can randomly get rid of stuff that I'm willing to throw away. I have some stuff on Etsy that's expensive as hell, and we'll see.
Yeah, I keep looking at Etsy for like the CNC stuff I'm doing, and I'm hearing so many nightmares, especially now with their new setup and they take so much. They end up taking like 40% by the time you're done.
I had something for sale, my big Spawn model for $400. I discounted it to $300, and I'm sure that was another fee. By the time the guy bought it, paid, and I had free shipping in Texas, which was like $50. By the time I got paid by Etsy, I got $175 out of $300.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that much.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I just don't. Honestly, I'm finding, dude, I've gotten rid of so much stuff. I had my parents' old screen house. It was like 15 years old. And it was just like these 4x8 aluminum panels with the screen in them. Screens are all torn out, ripped up. I pulled it down. I was getting ready to take it to the dump. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put it on Facebook Marketplace just for a week. Don't feel like going to the dump anyways. See if someone wants the panels,
Yeah, Mike.
Everything I've been putting on there.
I can still put the spool underneath, Mike, if I put this other part on that I printed for the filament sensor, but I like the drawer idea better.
Yeah,
not all spools will fit under there. I like having easy access to the spool, and I like the drawer idea. So some guy designed this, threw it up on Prusa. The first time I printed it, I had a lot of under extrusion. It was crushing on me. So then I reprinted it in this filament from Ziltech, the sparkly filament. So since I only have one Prusa, all Prusa parts go in here. That way I can keep all my stuff together because I'm not very organized. I've got crap everywhere, so Prusa stuff goes in here.
Yeah. I want the spool out exposed where I can see it. For one, I want to know how much is left, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. I don't like it underneath. Never liked encased. I don't like them hanging off the frame. When they put them on top of the frame, the I-frame, the enders, and they put them up on top. I'm sorry, that's a lot of weight bobbling around up there, and the frames are rigid, but they ain't that rigid. And I guarantee you, whether you see it or not, or it happens all the time, it's bobbling that whole freaking head, especially when you start printing taller. As it goes up and gets away from the base, the vibration gets larger. I would never attach my spool to the top of a frame. That's just insane.
I usually put them on top, like you can see two behind me that are on top.
Yeah,
they just slowly twist.
Yeah, until something happens or it catches and it unwinds real fast. It's not as bad the way you have it where it's going side to side. If it's going front to back, like a lot of them do, when it like if it got a pinch up against the spool, sometimes it happens. It'll come across and it'll pinch, and it always pops free, but it also jerk it.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, when you get tall prints, you're starting to get issues. You're going to get layer, errors with that spool shaking that freaking frame. Can guarantee it. The frames aren't that strong. i3 style frames are not that strong.
And I can walk out front and lightning can strike me dead on a sunny day, but I doubt that'll happen. So I'm not concerned about it.
Yeah, that's just no. I know enough about structural engineering that's just not right.
Yeah, I feel sad for all the people in Florida that got squashed like a bug. I mean, it's highly unlikely they're going to find anybody alive anywhere because that just came down, bam, 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 and everybody just got instantly stepped on like a cockroach. It's just sad.
On that note, we're going to change the subject because everyone's tired of hearing about it.
All right, so sad. Okay.
Just everybody's heard it. It's there. It's in the news. If you want to know more about it, go to the news. We don't. Okay. I mean, I feel bad for him and everything, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Other than don't live in Florida where
the ground's sinking.
I don't think that was the ground sinking.
All right.
That was ground sinking. That wasn't a sinkhole. That was a really crappy building. There's too much material sitting the way it's sitting, too flattened to be a sinkhole. You know what I mean? It collapsed too perfectly. If it was a sinkhole,
yeah, it was like it was imploded.
But that looked like really bad structural, like Somebody used the wrong concrete building that place.
Yeah, one of the towers in Vegas they built on City Center a long time ago. They had to demolish it. They wouldn't open it. Something about the wrong steel was used all the way up. With all the construction workers like that are on jobs that see this all day long, every day, how could that have even happened? Especially in Las Vegas where we do so much building. How could they have got away with that? The guys in the steel.
The wrong steel I can see, like when they're using rebar and you got to use a certain grade of rebar or a certain grade of concrete. You can't tell by looking at it. You got to know what you're looking at. Now, a lot of guys do know what they're just by looking at it. I mean, I know concrete guys that can look at two pieces of rebar and tell you one's a higher grade of steel than the other. I'd never be able to tell the freaking difference. They look like freaking rebar to me.
Yeah, but things like that would get stopped. We get seen. But I don't know.
I worked on this hotel down in West Haven years ago. They built this huge hotel, and it was like a city inside the hotel. It was bizarre. They were trying to make this vacation spot where you could never leave. You didn't have to leave. Like the hotel was a big circle, and then inside were all the stores and everything. But anyways, they built it on a swamp. They filled the swamp in like 2 years beforehand, and then decided to build this massive hotel on it. I mean, this thing was huge. If you walk the whole circle, it takes you like an hour to go around the outside. And the hotel is completely encased. Everything inside of it is inside the hotel. It's like one big, huge, like half-round building. Anyway, we're going to work on it because I did all the trim and doors and everything. And you get to this one back corner of the hotel, and it had dropped 1.5 feet into the swamp.
Wow. And
how they fixed it? Self-leveling frickin' gypcrete. Left the ceilings alone, put drop ceilings in. This was all 9-foot ceilings. They just brought them down to 8.
Yeah, I heard Luxor, they built the pyramid with sinking on one side, and they had to pump a lot of concrete underneath the foundation.
Yeah. Did you ever see that self-leveling gypcrete crap they put on the floor to level out floors they didn't beat up, right? I mean, it's just it's liquid sheetrock is what it is. No one knows what it is. Sheetrock without the paper on it. It's still liquid. They pour it on the floor and it levels itself out. They freaking put down like a foot-thick layer of this crap in like this whole back corner. And they're like, everything's good. I'm like, it's not good. This thing sunk 1 foot. You don't think it's going to keep sinking? Like, oh my God. Thank God. That's right when I quit that job. I was like, I am not being part of this. This ain't happening. They're like, well, we can't tear it down. I'm like, you can, and you should. I can't believe the frickin' town is letting you continue. That's just asking for something like what happened in Florida to happen. Frickin' no exaggeration, it sunk 1 foot. Actually, I think it went 16 inches, 14 inches. It dropped in a year. Oh yeah, we'll keep building on it. People are dumb. Some people are dumb. Anyway, back to 3D printing. I am actually 3D printing. My printers didn't run for almost a month, and then all of a sudden this week they've been running like crazy for the CNC machine. I'm just printing out parts. Mm-hmm. Dust boots. All the little things that are annoying me with it are getting fixed with the 3D printer. I'm even going to TPU, like, I don't know if you've ever seen the dust boot on a CNC. They got, the paintbrush. I don't know what you call it. It's basically a paintbrush hanging underneath it. I'm going to 3D print them at a TPU and see how it comes out. I mean, I know it's going to be all hairy and everything, but who cares?
A vacuum attachment on a vacuum cleaner. It's got the brush on it.
Yep, exactly. But I've made these like long, really, really thin, like flaps that I'm hoping will be flexible enough. It's a really hard, cheapo TPU, so I'm hoping.
Why don't you buy one made for? Do they make one made for? That'll look nicer.
Yeah and no. They do and they don't. For one, they're ridiculously expensive. I can't believe how much they get for a piece of frickin'. It's piece of we'll say acetate.
Why not get a vacuum cleaner attachment and mod it and add a piece to it to make it work?
You really can't, because it's got to clamp around the spindle. That's the hard part. And there's a bunch of them out there. I got one that came for the DeWalt, and that's what I've been using. But I'm just tired of dealing with it modded for it, and it keeps wobbling around, and it's not secure, and it's huge. I want it much smaller. The biggest problem is it's so big, like it gets to the end of the board, and it stops working because the vacuum attachment's off the end of the board, and just all the vacuum's being lost out of it. So it's just shooting crap all over the place. Where this thing's going to be like real tight to the bit.
Yeah, I've seen people, they take those buckets, they mod them, and it's got the big impeller thing on it, and all the air hooked up to a vacuum cleaner, and all the air goes in one, all the debris goes in another.
Yeah, I probably will do that. That end of it, the actual vacuum, I'm okay right now. My brother gave me a central air vac, which has like.
Do you have air assist on it?
The vacuum.
Do you have air assist on it to blow away debris where it's actually cutting?
No, that's the other thing is it doesn't need it. It blows the debris out all on its own. That spindle is just, I'm not doing aluminum or anything. It's all wood. So the bit spinning, unless I use a down bit or something, it's blowing the material out, no problem. The vacuum will pull it away too.
My MPCNC has been sitting for over a year, and I've never done the firmware on it. So
that's a waste. You should. I'm kind of.
I got a nice Makita router mounted to it. Cost me like $140, and I just haven't.
Okay. Everyone's using the DeWalt because it's a little more accurate in speeds, but the
Makita's got more power, so I went with Makita.
Actually, the DeWalt has more power, but the Makita is a lot lighter. A lot lighter. I had them both. I have a DeWalt and a Makita palm router before I ever got the CNC.
Yeah, I forget which model it was I bought. I'd have to look on Amazon.
But I like them both. I kept the DeWalt because it had more accessories more than anything else. Makita. I got two of the DeWalts now because I got one with the CNC and I had one already. But they're both good. I mean, I like the Makita better in some ways. It's a lot lighter, especially for the CNC, and it's smaller diameter. The DeWalt's a little more accurate in the speeds, I guess, and a little better bearings.
There's the one there that I bought.
Yeah. It's the one everybody uses. It's either that DeWalt or that R11 thing.
It's got a nice attachment it came with it. Some nice goodies. So.
Yeah. See, I have that same exact kit with the plunge router and everything for the DeWalt. I've had it for years. I had it when they first came out with those, what I always call oversized palm routers. I mean, I'm sure you've used a real palm router that's a palm router. Those are not palm routers. People call them palm routers. Those are not palm routers. They're too freaking big. My palm router is tiny. And it's plenty ballsy enough for.
The only thing palm that I have, you hook up to an air compressor, you can drive 16 penny nails in a real tight spot. You hold it in your hand, it's in a leather case.
Palm nailer.
Yeah. Nails and a palm nailer. It's all
I love palm nailers for doing hangers.
Really hard to get to place.
Nothing better to do hangers than a palm nailer.
Then I've got a real nice DeWalt, I think it's DeWalt, or rigid nail gun that I built my garage with in Pahrump. And my brother is a carpenter. You know, he does everything by hand. He's like, why are you using it? Do everything by hand. I said, F you, I'm not going to do it by hand. Now, when I got this gun, I love this thing. He drives everything. Yeah. He drives everything by hand. He has a huge 2-story house that he built by himself with no help. Everything done by hand. When he painted the building, he used an effing paintbrush to paint the 2-story building. He's retired. He had the time, and he instead of even rolling it or spraying it, he used a paintbrush on stucco. Unbelievable.
What people don't realize is actually gun nails hold better.
I always use nails and screws. I back up things that I need to with screws. Because, you know, screws have no shear strength, but they hold better than a nail, and a nail isn't going to shear. So things that need, I'll nail and screw it. Yeah.
Screw will suck those two boards together tighter if you use it proper. A lot of people don't. A nail, it's like we can't screw framing here together. It's against the law. You have to nail it because of the hurricanes. Same with, I think California is the same way too. You can't use a screw. You can't use screw and structural. You have to use a nail.
Yeah, hurricane straps, I'd nail it and throw some screws in both. Do both.
Yeah.
There's no
You guys get hurricanes, huh?
We have bad windstorms. Yeah, it's feasible
Yeah.
we could get a hurricane.
But you still use all the hurricane strapping and everything like we do.
Yeah, really bad windstorms come out of nowhere, rip off
You're
fuses.
not using the bolt throughs like we are now, though, are you?
What?
Bolt throughs. We have a new thing. It's been like 5 years that you got to do if you're where I am, right on the shore. You have to do a bolt through, and what it is it's 120 nails, hanger nails, on a bracket that catches a stud and your top plate. Okay, then you got this 1 foot bolt that goes through your box and your top plate and your bottom plate, and then a 120 nail bracket hitting a stud and the bottom plate, and then you bolt it through. You have to do that every 4 feet here now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember on my slab and front, that's the only thing I built by myself, pulled permits. I'd have straps every so often in the concrete, and they'd have to be strapped to the building. And then everything is, of course, the bottom plate's nailed down everywhere. It's bolted down everywhere. Yeah. Every so many feet, yeah. Hey, Dum-Dum.
Yeah, we never use straps that much. Everything here is bolted or lagged or...
I don't know if it would get any reviews, but if I dig through a bunch of my flash drives, I've got hundreds of pictures from 2008 to 2011 that I took when I built my 2.5 acres. I built a huge 3-story garage, had a workshop downstairs, a 3 bays for cars down below, and a big giant 10-12 pitch on the roof, 2 big dormers, had a bedroom, and then a living room up there. I can make a video out of that with a picture video thing where I narrated. I wonder if that would get any reviews, just talking about the whole process.
Yep. I wish I recorded that freaking monster garage I built when I built that thing. They pretty much did that.
Like I said, I only took pictures. I didn't tape any of it, but I could, if I could remember, I can narrate the whole thing and have one picture flip and go to the next one. And I think it might be interesting. People would watch it. Maybe I wouldn't get any effing thumbs down, but
like down, dude. It's freaking idiot.
There's the giveaway video. I'm talking about all the stuff I want to give away, and an hour after I posted it, I had 2 thumbs down. It's like, really?
I don't even look.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea how many thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't even look anymore.
No, it doesn't bother me. Again, it's just the point that it happens, and people are just being stupid.
Yeah, it's dude. It wouldn't surprise me if it's somebody set up, some idiot kid with a bot that just goes through and thumbs downs everybody's video that gets, posted in the last hour or whatever. I just don't pay attention anymore. I just don't.
Some guy on Honey Badger stream, he had a giveaway a couple days ago. He gave away printers, filament, T-shirts, Honey Badger 3D, and he only had like 25 people watching. I'm like, that's crazy. You're giving away a printer and some really cool stuff, and already nobody showed up for the giveaway.
I know him. I know him from your streams.
Yeah, James and Mike. They're really awesome painters over in the UK. Yeah, he's got a great channel. Honey Badger 3D print and paint.
Really? I might have to. Because I think I've seen him on your streams and some other streams on occasion.
Here, I'll send you a link.
I kind of got out of the whole YouTube-y thing. I was still streaming, but I stopped following people because you get to a point where you can't follow everyone, and then you get so many suggestion hits, whatever, in your stream.
There's a private chat.
You don't want to. You can't. You end up missing the stuff you do want to watch because you can't.
Under YouTube, under recommended, I'll start watching certain things I like. Like there's been a lot of short little movies that are 10 to 15 minutes long, and most of them are really good. I watch a couple, and the next thing you know, under recommended, they're all there, and I can't see my 3D printing stuff. Once you start watching different things, they kind of what you want to see goes away.
Like every once in a while, I'll watch an old Pink Floyd video or a music video with Eric Clapton or something. All of a sudden, I go back and my whole suggestion is music videos from scratch. I just watched one.
Yeah.
Will you stop? They overdo it. Sergio, come on in, Sergio.
How's it going, Sergio? How you doing? Yeah, I seen him on camera at Murph. He was talking to Dan. He brought Dan some goodies. And Dan had a camera set up right there watching everybody walk by. I seen Sergio on camera there. And I seen Chris Travis in the background walking around.
Didn't know he went. You went to Murph, Sergio?
Yep, he was there.
That's a long haul. Hell, he could have picked me up on the way by. Printing away on the TPU. I don't know why everyone says TPU is freaking hydroscopic. It's humid as crap, has been. TPU been sitting out for a freaking month. Don't have any problems with it. Now, I do use a lot. I've discovered I prefer to use the cheapo TPUs for what I use it for, because I don't need it to be like ultra rubbery, flexible, overpriced, blah, blah, blah. The cheap TPUs work just fine. They're easier to print. They're cheap. They're flexible. They're actually
I read like Dan collected like $800 in a matter of minutes because he was talking about how he couldn't afford to go, and it's his wife's anniversary, and he had a couple of people on his hangout, and within minutes he had like $800. So then he had no reason to say no. That was awesome. So I think maybe if I want to go next year, right around January, I should post something on the screen and try to get donations. Maybe the community will help me go. I don't know. So
Dan plays my wife card.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh. No, I'm kidding. Just picking on Dan.
I don't know.
He's back already home, isn't he? Didn't he leave last night for some emergency reason?
Yeah, I think his dog got out or something, so he wasn't there today streaming.
How's the dog getting out? Got to do with anything? What the hell is he going to do?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Chase down a damn dog?
I think he's 5 or 6 hours away from it. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, he's not. It's not a short ride, but it's.
I'm like 29 hours away from it if I drove. I couldn't imagine driving that far. I mean, sure, if I stopped and hung out somewhere for a couple days and then kept driving and I could get there quicker. But
see, if I were you, I would make it a week thing. Like you leave on Wednesday, then you drive up Wednesday, Thursday, get there on Friday, hang out.
Yeah, my wife will be in
Monday, come back, take Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, driving back, do some sightseeing on the way.
I got 2 dogs, so I have to get my sister to come over to feed my dogs. I honestly don't like leaving them alone for a long time. My wife will be in Florida, so I would fly down. I hate airplanes, but I would fly down on like a Friday morning maybe and try to get close enough that I don't know. I'd have to figure out where I could fly into that's close. And then if I don't have to rent a vehicle, that'd save a lot of money and just have my thumb out and say, hey, you recognize me? Jerry from 3DHP, give me a ride.
Why Thomllama? Thomllama has actually been my name, my handle for like 20 years. I just had a channel, Thomllama. If you search YouTube for Thomllama, you'll see my like 6 videos I did I think 15 years ago. They're wicked old mountain bike videos. And I lost the password, and back then you couldn't recover it. And I never could recover my stuff. And then they did the email recovery. Well, by the time they got the email recovery all set up, the email company I had my email through went away. So I could never get the name back. Well, they re-released it after I complained and bitched, and it only took them 10 years to re-release my name.
Where do you live at, Red Light? I thought you lived back east somewhere. I'm in Vegas.
Red Light, he lives out west somewhere.
Hey, Cyberduck. How you doing?
Midwest.
I figured if I went, I could take 2 suitcases, and one would be full of goodies and stuff, and my banner, and I could set up a table with a bunch of whatever that I haven't printed yet, and do something like that. Oh, Indiana, yeah, you're far away from me.
Yeah, I've been Thomllama since I was in high school. Now I can have my name back. It's my name, and I want it back. Yep, I got an oiling bike chain video under my old account.
The real Thomllama, I guess you got that from Sam Prentice, right? The real Sam Prentice?
Well, it's funny because, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, somebody was trying to trademark my name. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? They'd go on and do a website or something and be like, no, that name's taken. You want to buy it? and they wanted like.
Yeah, I don't have anything trademarked, so technically anybody could steal anything I do away from me. I can't afford to trademark stuff. But
yeah, oiling the bike chain video, that was pretty funny. I forgot all about that one. That's kind of a joke with my mountain bike buddies. Because I use an electric toothbrush on my chain. Clean it. Back in the day, we used to like. Now they're so cheap they just throw them out and buy a new one. But back in the day, we used to like get these like $100 chains, and once a month you take them off the bike and you like clean it and oil it and get it ceramic coated or whatever. But
yeah,
I used an electric toothbrush on it to clean it. It was funny.
If my medical issues get better, I'll try to go next year. I'll take my money from my taxes, or I'll take up a charity thing like other people have done. I don't know. We'll see. But I think it'd be fun to go to meet everybody.
Yeah, I might go to Earth again, but Murph's too far away.
I went to Comdex here in Vegas with my son 2 years in a row, and Comdex is the biggest electronic show in the world here in Vegas. And because he worked for a major casino, I went with him with a badge. And you wouldn't believe how many people were there. It's just hundreds of thousands of people in zillions of different buildings. And when I got to the 3D print area, a lot of major companies were there. No individuals, just major companies. And the area for 3D printing wasn't very big when you looked at the scope of the whole thing. But anything electronic you could possibly imagine was there trying to sell you their products for a future, It wasn't where you go and you buy anything, talking about stuff they're coming out with and ideas. And it was huge, unbelievably huge. And I believe that was the first week of January. And where he's working now, I don't know if he'll be able to go this coming up year or not, or if they're even going to have it. I don't know if they're even going to have it. They canceled this year. Next year, I don't know if they're going to have it or not. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this other variant thing, where that goes. But anyway, I got both shots. I don't wear my mask when I go anywhere. I have it in my pocket in case I need to. I went to a Chinese restaurant to pick up food, and they had a sign on the door. No problem. I put on my ninja mask. So I wear it when I need to.
I don't give a crap either way kind of person. If somebody wants it on, I'll put it on. I'm not going to argue about it. I completely get it. I'm fully vaccinated, have been since March.
Yeah.
Not too worried about it, but if someone else is worried about it, I'm not going to give them grief on it. They're freaking. I'd rather they be worried about it than not worry about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Rather be safe than sorry. That's some deadly ass crap. I mean, we're actually pretty good now in the United States, even though we got a bunch of idiots that won't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be polite about it. If you're not getting vaccinated when you could be, you're an idiot. Unless you have an actual disease or issue with vaccine, which there are people. But
yeah, I was at Walmart like 6 months ago, and a guy sneezed, and he took off his mask when he sneezed. I wanted to hit him in the face. The whole point in having a mask on is if you sneeze, the mask catches all that water debris that you're going to blow all over the room.
At least I don't know.
Yeah.
There's still people around here wearing masks, which is, I had some guy I don't know, a week ago, I guess it was. We were in the pharmacy and he was wearing a mask, and some other dude was like, "Oh, you don't need to wear your mask." Leave him alone. He wants to wear his mask. If he doesn't feel safe without it, leave him alone. Maybe he's not had his shots yet. How do you know?
You remember 4 or 5 years ago, you go to the grocery store, once in a while you see the old guy that's got a hard hat on. You'll see maybe one person once in a while that has a mask on, and then all this happened, and everybody has them on. So,
yeah, it's funny. I remember when it first started hitting, and everyone, the whole mask thing became. There was this meme going around on Facebook and Twitter that said, a year ago, if you went into a bank with a mask on, you got arrested. Now, if you go into a bank without a mask on, you get arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, I came out of Albertsons one time carrying a box on my shoulder, and it wasn't a 3D printer. And everybody's like, "Where'd you get that at? What aisle are they on?" Guess what it was? Toilet paper. Back when toilet paper was out of stock and nobody had it. Then when they did have it, everybody's like, "Where's it at? How much is it?" They jacked the price up. Of course they jacked the price up.
Yeah, whatever. The master is whatever. Not going to get into it. Everybody has their own choice.
Anybody out there watching, drop in, hang out, and let's talk about something other than what I'm talking about. Make it more interesting.
Yeah, you keep going on these bad subjects. You keep bringing up that bad crap.
Yeah.
Trying to stay off that bad crap. 2020 didn't exist. It was just a freaking nightmare.
What happened in 2020?
We just all woke up.
What happened?
What happened? I don't know.
Yeah.
A nightmare.
Yeah.
In the history books, there's going to be like 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
What happened to that year? There's like this like black surge in the calendar, and then it goes on again. Like this void of anything happening. I will say, a lot of people I've noticed in their, with the whole stay-at-home thing, there's a lot of people going, you know what? I don't want to go back to the office to work. I was more productive at home when I could work, whenever I wanted, however I wanted, the timing I wanted.
The Winter Soldier, my latest resin print from Sanix. If you didn't see the video on, I did a video on that a couple weeks ago. Anycubic is sending me out a new bottle of resin test. I'll be doing a video next week as soon as it gets here, so I should have another video out this next week. But came out real nice. Just needs to be painted like most of the stuff I have that isn't painted.
You're screaming.
And here's the funniest thing I own.
I like that. That is awesome. I've been thinking about putting googly eyes on the CNC machine somewhere. It needs googly eyes.
Yeah, it'll someday get painted. I don't know when, but I'll say someday. I got so many things to paint. I could completely get rid of all my printers, my resin printers. I have enough things to paint that would be my hobby for the rest of my life. It could be.
Yeah, see, I have a hard time with all that. I mean, I guess if I was painting it, that would be one thing, but I'm looking at my shelf now. I was doing it this morning. I'm like, I got to get rid of some of that crap. All it is collecting dust. I don't like the shelf-sitting dust collector stuff.
You like it. It took time and money to print, and you hate to throw it out, but you don't know what to do with it.
I wouldn't throw it out. I just don't often print it.
Yeah.
I mean, and when I do, I get rid of it as fast. I don't want it around. It's just clutter to me.
Actually, if I went to Murph next year, I could take a suitcase full of small prints that I really don't want, and I can just give them away. You just line them up on the table.
Line them up on the table and say, take one.
Here, like, subscribe. Here's a card. Have a print. I don't know.
Yep.
Big stuff I want to sell and recoup money on, but small stuff I could give away.
I got rid of, I was big into vases. I still am, but big into vases years ago before I went to Earth. And I brought them all to Earth, like a buttload of them, for display and blah, blah, blah. And toward the end of it, I was like, what am I going to do with all these vases? I don't want to drag them all back home. And there was a girl there that was with her husband. I don't even remember who she was, but she did like the cloth flowers. And she goes, well, I'll take a couple of those vases, I'll use them for my cloth flowers. I'm like, okay, let me go get a box, and I'll give you a few. I went and found the biggest box I could, and I put them all in it, and I handed it to her. She's like, what? And I'm like, take them all. I don't want them. They just collect dust at my house. Don't like crap.
Yeah.
Sitting on a shelf collecting dust.
Prints get dust on them in Vegas. They're hard to clean. I mean, I can kind of use my air compressor. I can kind of mist them. It's just they're kind of hard to clean.
Yeah.
The air compressor only does so much.
I get you paint them and everything, and that's cool, but you just can't. It drives me nuts having just useless junk.
Well, the one guy in my life
right there is driving me nuts right now. That whole shelf.
I can't think of his name. He's on my live stream. He's always in the rocking chair rocking. I can't think of his name. But if it won't make you money, he won't buy the machine. If he has to find a way that whatever he's printing needs to be able to sell it or make money with it, or he won't buy it. And that's a great philosophy. I mean, okay, if I buy this, what am I going to do with it? I bought a K40 laser. I was planning on putting everything on Etsy, but I haven't done it yet. I need to get back into just my laser. I focus on one thing, and then I don't do everything else. And then I watch TV, or I stream, or I will get on somebody else's stream, or time flies. I just don't take the time to complete what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. My problem with all these hobbies are I get into one and I totally ignore the rest of them. Like,
Yeah.
I got into 3D printing for all my RC crap. I haven't flown my RC crap in ages.
Dixon Hoffman, there he is, right there. He's here. Dixon Hoffman is who I'm talking about. He was lurking. He didn't say anything.
Lurker.
Sorry, Dixon. I couldn't think of your name.
Yeah, I don't really. I got the 2 cars. I got the quadcopter. But that's another thing. When I stopped using them, I had like 10 quadcopters. They're all gone. I got one big one left and a couple of little ones. Got rid of them all. Not using them, every day like I was. I still have a couple. I still fly it once in a while. The little ones I fly around here just as a goof. I haven't flown a little one in a while. I should fly one. But even though, I think I'm going to get rid of a couple more of them. Not using them. Why take up the space?
Dixon, if you're almost asleep, rock faster. The night before last, I was up all night long. I couldn't sleep. I streamed yesterday. I drank a Monster. Last night, I went to bed right after I got off the stream. I was dozing off, and I just laid down in bed all evening and slept all night.
Sitting outside in the lawn chair. That's what I should be doing.
Now my eyes are watering. Went down the wrong pipe.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, you drink and you laugh. At least I didn't blow tea out my nose.
Holy crap. I've been on here an hour and 20 minutes. Hanging out, BSing. I wasn't going to get on because I was all expecting Fun King to get on, and then I remember they're both taking this week off for some reason or another.
I was choking on tea, Cyberdeck.
He was traveling, doing something, so I was like, I'll stream for an hour. And I changed my name. I finally got Thomllama back.
Capital. If I wrote that out of a capital R, the real Thomllama, capital R is how I type it.
I just did it quick. Don't really care.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and whatever else he says. This is the real Sam Prentice.
You are dying. Everybody's dying. Every minute of every day. You're 1 minute closer to death. Isn't that pleasant?
That's why when I have a special guest on, I have them send me pictures rather than them showing things. Is if the stream starts to die or I don't know where to go with the conversation, I throw a picture on the screen and we start talking about it. There's been a couple times where people showed their own stuff and we were kind of dying and nobody was asking questions and I didn't know what to say. But if I have a picture to throw up, then I can just keep it moving. So that's how I deal with it.
Am I going to do mostly CNC? No, I'm going to still do some 3D printing. Matter of fact, right now I'm 3D printing for the CNC, and I will probably do a combo video on it if it all works. I got to test it tonight. Hopefully it'll be done by tonight. It's going to be kind of a long print. But no, I'm going to do both. But I mean, obviously the CNC is taking up more of my time, so more subject matter is going to be based on it. But I've always wanted Thomllama, and I mean, that was my original name. I just couldn't get access to the account, and finally they released the name again. And they
no matter
years ago,
no matter how small your video is, or what you're doing, or what you're putting on it, somebody might want that key piece of information, and your video, no matter how long or short it is, might have that information in that video form.
Yeah.
When I bought my CR10 Max, I bought it from a friend of mine, and the power supply and a couple things weren't hooked up. And because of the two power supplies, I had no idea how to wire a couple things. So I watched like 20 different videos online. Finally, one guy turned his machine over, took off the bottom when he was assembling, and he showed me where everything went. So that video really helped me out immensely. So I couldn't find it anywhere.
Isn't your CNC visiting your shop? Sort of. It's looking better every day. we just got approved for another 6 months. I have until Christmas now.
What do you mean? Where you live?
The money is gone. We can't pay the taxes. My brother paid the taxes.
Oh, wow.
I'm out of money and my mother's out of money. All my savings, they burned up keeping my mother and father here. And when my father died, my mother has no more money. Her Social Security and everything will not support this house.
So you're going to have to sell it?
Came up this month. We were going to have to sell the house. Well, my brother's paid the taxes. So
are you able
to live until Christmas? That's the whole point of this. Huh?
Are you going to be able to have enough money coming in to keep it current, or are you going to have to sell it?
That's the whole point of my brother buying the CNC is he's in his mid-60s, late 60s. How old am I? He's 10 years older than me. So he's in his mid-60s. Wow, it took me a minute. Anyway, he basically is retired now, but he wants to fully retire. He bought the CNC under the pretenses that me and him can putz with it and make enough money in a month to pay our bills. Because he owns his house outright. We own this house outright. So all we need to do is basically feed ourselves, pay the electric bill, and pay the taxes. So we don't need to make a lot of money. So he's hoping between the two of us, that machine and other woodworking stuff and whatever else,
Cyberdeck wants to
be enough to support the two houses.
You have the link pinned, don't you, to join in?
Yeah, it's pinned right at the top of the chat.
Do you think on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, yard sale, in the paper, generate fast money?
Huh?
You think you can generate fast money by making a bunch of stuff and selling it in Marketplace or Facebook or Craigslist or wherever?
I don't think I'll make a bunch of money, but I think we should. Once I get it set up and going and really know what I'm doing to the point where I trust myself with it, where I can push a few buttons and know it's doing what it should do, and I don't have to stand over and go, crap, I did that wrong. I think I can easily
take care, Dum Dum.
Make,
Are you in a good location?
All we got to do is make a couple of grand a month.
Are you in a good location where you could set up a yard sale once in a while or go to a flea market?
Oh, dude, I'm right on the beaches. Okay. I'm right in the middle of the two major beaches on the Connecticut shoreline.
So you get a lot of traffic out in front of your house.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My
only disadvantage is I'm a half a mile off the road up in the swamp. So they don't really see it. It's not like I'm right on the road.
Okay, Yoav, let me grab the link and I'll throw it up. Hey, what's
going
on? How you doing?
It's a boot disc.
Doing all right. How you doing?
Dude, I like your background. It's cool.
Thanks. Yeah, it was kind of it was a challenge to put that up there.
Yeah, I bet.
But each tile I can move individually. I rearrange them once in a while. Put some coded messages in the videos.
Yeah.
No one has solved it yet, either.
Hey, Tom, in private chat, can you post that link for Mr. Bedelli on the droid stuff?
You can post, can't you?
I can go to YouTube, but I can't post it unless I'm modded.
I thought you were modded. Go post something and I'll mod you.
Let me find your video.
Matter of fact, thinking of that.
Oh, yeah, I'm modded. Okay, I can post it.
I was going to say, I thought you were modded.
Yeah. Yeah, here you go, Yoav. $5 a month, Yoav. And join their Facebook group, because a lot of times it's hard to find stuff when you join his Patreon, what folder is where. So go to the group and they explain everything, and he'll email you. So anyway, what do you got going on, JD?
It's hot out here, so I've been getting up real early just to get outside, go fly a quad for a bit.
I missed.
Got a little burnt today.
You're in Arizona or New Mexico?
Arizona.
Okay, yeah. In Vegas, it's 104 right now, according to my computer.
Yeah, it's probably a little warmer over here. But it could be worse.
I have the advantage of being on the shoreline, so even when it's hot, like you can go 10 miles inland and it's 15, 20 degrees hotter. It's hot here at 79 degrees.
But you got humidity off the ocean, right?
Yeah, it's super humid.
Yeah.
What are you like up in
It's
Texas or
like
something?
raining out.
Connecticut, I think.
Yeah, I'm in Connecticut,
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Hey, I
Nice.
remembered something. I got older and I'm remembering more.
The old curmudgeon. See, you're an old curmudgeon, Jerry. Now you know what it is. You're it. You're the perfect description of an old curmudgeon.
You wouldn't believe the stuff I forget that I should know. I mean, things I've done.
You?
Yeah.
What do you got, a year on me?
57, June 12th. Yeah.
And I've bumped my head way more times than you have, I guarantee it.
Head injuries.
Pretty much more.
Since I've got you guys here,
Super geeky.
care to help me improve my PETG prints? This is how most of them come out. Hear that nice crumbling sound.
Under extrusion, I happen to PLA occasionally.
Well,
PETG though.
it could be two things. PETG is seriously nasty hydroscopic. So if it's wet, it'll do that. It won't adhere to itself. It'll under extrude. That's why one of the reasons I don't really like PETG and I very seldom use it is because it's ridiculously humid here.
Yeah, I really don't ever print with it. That's the thing. Like I've been printing for almost 10 years and I keep buying a roll every once in a while to try it and all of the prints suck and then I just stick it back on the shelf and try it again when I have a new.
I usually get a lot of string with PETG, and I have a lot of friends that don't. They got perfect prints with it. But
yeah, PETG is number one. Your environment will justify whether you can print with it well or not.
But he don't have a humidity problem in Arizona, so
yeah. And,
well, you'd be surprised actually. It's been really humid for the last couple of weeks, and I've been trying to do the PETG prints, so that could be it.
Yep. Dry it first. Try drying it. That might cure it right there.
Yeah, I have one of those food dehydrators. I just never actually try it with PETG. Never think about it.
Throw it in.
Only ever use it with nylon.
Pull it out and try it and see if it gets better.
I printed this drawer in PLA a couple weeks ago. If you've seen on my live stream, I built a mini, and I had a lot of string with it. When it got done, I could grab the top half and crush it like a sponge.
PETG is not like PLA.
Yeah, it was PLA I was printing with. So, once I got rid of my under extrusion problem, I cleaned out the nozzle really good, and it printed fine second time around.
I always love the PETG is just as easy as PLA once you get the settings. Yeah, once you get the settings. Polycarbonate is just as easy as PLA.
That's the problem is I really need PETG because of
once you get the settings.
I need it for the temperature resistance, but also just the strength of it. Like I'm printing these little parts here, if you can see it. It's pretty simple little thing. It's a little skid plate with a couple little horns that stick out, and it goes on the arms of the quadcopter. So it just protects your motors. When you run into something, it gives you something else to hit. But the material just is so hard to print with.
You know what? Believe it or not, polycarbonate. If you buy Snow Labs modified polycarbonate, and right now, pretty much all the time, if you go to Snow Labs, you know who Snow Labs are? They make a manufacturer filament. He's a filament manufacturer here in the States. He actually doesn't, it's imported, but it's custom made for him. But he has a polycarbonate blend, which is way stronger. And I have less issues with his polycarbonate blend than I do with PETG. Now, you do really need to put it in a chamber. I do it without, but if you look at my printer, when I print with it, I have like paper just to keep the breeze off of it. Because you don't have to heat it necessarily. You just can't have any air flow around it, or it'll warp like sin. But
Games and back.
I print with polycarbonate easier than I print with PETG, and it's way stronger, like 100 times stronger than PETG.
Yeah, I got a roll of hips to try out.
Yeah,
which is It's a kind of interesting material. I mean, if you just pull on a strand of the filament, it stretches quite a lot, but a lot easier than you would expect too.
Are you using an all metal hot end? I'm assuming you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all metal hot end. The printer's tuned up pretty good. I've got a good print bed.
Have you ever seasoned your hot end, or you ever oil it with olive oil, canola oil, anything on the filament?
Oh yeah, I used to do that, but I don't do that anymore. That causes all kinds of problems.
That's only good for PLA. PLA is corn based.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the, some of the tests people have done, you end up making the filament, the prints aren't as strong after being oiled.
Yep. You're lubricating the layer adhesion so it doesn't adhere properly.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so I've got this one here that's like, it almost wanted to be a perfect print, but as soon as the fan turned on, the layers just stopped sticking to themselves.
Well, you're really not supposed to use a fan with PETG or very little fan.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like very little fan, but without it, it's a kind of a globby mess.
What temperature are you printing at?
I've got a steel nozzle, so I always bump it up about 10, 15 degrees higher than usual, because it just seems like it doesn't really, it's not accurate when it's a steel nozzle. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm running around 240, 245, they're small prints, so it's not really accelerating a whole lot in that small space. But running around like 60 millimeter second print, and as fast as the thing will go for the non-print moves, just so it slices off, so it doesn't leave a bunch of strings all over.
Yeah, fast travels.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, seriously, 100%. I just posted a link. Snow Labs polycarbonate. If you go there and you buy one right now, your first roll, if you've never bought from him before, he gives you a 25% off on the polycarbonate to try it.
Nice. Yeah, PC is one of the only things I haven't tried yet. I do a lot of nylon printing, but
I've done polycarbonate, and it's a bitch. His blend is specifically made to make it so it doesn't warp quite as bad. It still warps if you do it wrong, but if you print on PEI, most people just use print on PEI. I use glue stick because I'm not in a chamber. I put glue stick on it without the chamber, and I don't have a problem with it, especially with small parts.
Yeah, I've got a textured PEI sheet, and then I have that nano armor on it, the nano adhesive.
Yeah, and the polycarbonate is lighter, stronger, and more flexible by far than PETG. Like, I built hubcaps for my leaf mulcher that I kept breaking because they keep running into rocks, and they got little fingers that lock it into the axle. I can't break them. The injected molded ABS snap right off. The polycarbonate, I can't break them by hand. I can't force it with the layer line. I cannot break it with that stuff.
Huh.
And it prints at 250.
I've never tried it. But I've never found anything I couldn't break.
It's been on my list to try for a while. One thing I do actually like is PETT. I don't have much trouble printing with.
Yeah, because you don't have the glycol in it.
Right, and that's like the one from Thomllama. It's really the only filament they make that I actually like. I mean, I don't print anything complex with it, but if you just need a kind of a simple basic shape for like a hinge or something, the stuff is just indestructible.
From what I understand, I don't know the exact science, but the glycol makes it a little more flexible. The PET straight up is more brittle, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's a little more flexible.
You're Thomllama. You're never wrong.
Huh?
You're Thomllama. You're never wrong.
I'm always wrong. Are you kidding me? I always have the right idea. I just explain it wrong. But yeah, I'm serious. For the money, it's not that expensive. I think it's like $45 for a roll. And
I've been printing with nylon.
If you printed nylon, you're not going to have any problem. Why are you printing with nylon instead of PETG if you got nylon?
Mostly because the prints are good up until a couple hours after it's sat out after drying it. What I don't have is a good end-to-end solution. I can't put it in the dryer and then have it feed straight through a boat into the extruder. The dryer is just too damn loud. The thing sounds like running 3 hair dryers at once, which is just annoying.
Polycarbonate, particularly his polycarbonate, the additives are hydroscopic. You have to keep it dry.
Mm.
It's not as bad as nylon. You will, if it's wet, it won't even be a layer adhesion. It'll just be a blobby mess if it gets truly wet. Again,
Yeah.
I'm in a humid area. I don't have a problem with it.
So for the nylon, I can print for maybe up to 4 hours before the prints start having problems because of the moisture. That's really why I want to get PETG working decently, is just, the properties are pretty close to nylon as far as the way it feels when you're working with it and the temperature resistance and stuff.
What if you had it in a dryer being fed to your extruder and then printing that way, the way it's being kept dry as you print?
Well, I can do that. It's just the food dehydrator is so loud that running it in the same room or even the next room over is just annoying. I'd hate to have it running for a 20-hour print.
Store it with this in a weather-tight box like this. Either
Was that a cigar dehumidifier?
Really, really fancy desiccant with a little heater. You plug it in and it dries itself, but it's way better than normal loose desiccant. And I store everything with these, and I've taken filaments that were 3 or 4 years old that were just nasty, couldn't use it, threw it in here by accident, figured I'd throw it out, took it out, printed with it without a problem. After, it took a month to dry it out in here, but it dried it out to the point where I could use it again. But you have a tight container with the seal.
I don't really bother to store anything too special other than the nylon. Those just go into these kind of foil Ziploc bags.
Yeah, this is way better than the Ziploc bag.
Sorry, the lag on here. Don't mind me if I talk over you guys. The 5 or 6 second lag always gets me.
You're talking to me and Jerry, the two guys that freaking talk over everybody.
Yeah, I talk over everybody all the time. I want to get my point across when people are talking, so I just talk louder. And I've actually muted Tom before. Damn. He wouldn't shut up on my stream one time, and I wanted to say something, so I just muted his microphone.
Like that.
Shut up. Hey, Jerry, did you ever finish that droid?
Which one?
Well,
the droid?
The big one.
The R2-D2?
No, yeah, one of those miniaturized. I think that gold one there. That's a lot. Yeah, that has a lot more done on it than the last time I saw it.
Yeah, it's completely done. I just have to. When I went to run it for the last stream that we all did together, my batteries were dead, so I ordered new batteries, and I have to rewire some of the servos. I got it wired, but I haven't tested it yet. So it's a matter of taking an hour to make sure it's wired properly. Then I can test it and do a video on it. As far as for R2-D2, I printed the dome. I haven't done any painting or any more sanding on it. And R2-D2 is like a 2 or 3 year project. So it'll take forever to print out all the parts for R2-D2. It probably cost $1,000 in electronics. So,
did you see his latest post on? I think it was Facebook or it might have been on Twitter. The Bradley dude does that. Somebody took that and made it into a quadcopter. So the little arms are like steering it and everything, but it's a quadcopter.
Yeah, they put a different droid on. I forget what that droid is called on the one body, and they put that
Yeah,
on.
it has a tin can hat.
Yeah.
But same thing
that's
with
cool.
the little arms and steering. And it's
Do you
quad-
remember who did it?
I can find it. Let me find it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's under Bradley's.
Yeah,
I think it was Facebook, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've been doing RC hobby for a long time, and when they're kind of new, there's a lot of innovation, and it's kind of fun, and people do fun things like that. And then it just boils down to the most basic essence of it, and it gets a little bit stale. I really like seeing those builds where people just you carve a block of foam and make it look like the Millennium Falcon or something. Just for fun, not instead of just being purely optimized for speed and distance and all that. The few quads I have now, they're pretty good. They're fast. You can hit about 70 miles an hour on them and fly for maybe about 4 to 5 minutes at a time. But sometimes it feels like it kind of lacks the fun, because it's just kind of, it's boiled down to the bare essentials. Even adding these little skid guards to the thing, it's adding like 30 grams of weight to something that only weighs 300, which is a pretty big increase in weight to give up just for a little bit of motor protection.
Oh my God, the temperature's going up here. It's supposed to be going down. It's after 5.
Yeah, it only gets hotter in Arizona. Kind of looking forward to the monsoon season, except for that just ruins my printing. It's the one time of year where it really gets humid for a couple months straight. During monsoon season, I just switched to PLA, just only print PLA.
Don't like the noise of air conditioning. Usually there's an air conditioner, and I have a feeling it's going in this week because we're going to be in the mid-90s every day for the next 7 days. Usually an air conditioner right there in that window.
Here you go, Tom.
I hate the freaking noise. Yeah, that's the one.
Where is that? Oh, great.
It's a little quadcopter. I think the arms, I don't know,
Mechanic
the arms
droid.
actually move. I think the actual arms move just like. No, maybe they don't. It doesn't look like they are. But the arms move too.
Yeah, they took his design and put them on tracks like the droid behind me. They went ahead and put them on top of a quad. Pretty cool.
I like it.
I did too. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I need to do some stuff like that. I need to build something fun. I was thinking about moving the first-person view camera and putting it on like an arm set back so that you could see the quad in front of you. So at least it would be a more interesting view. And then, I don't know, maybe stick like a Lego guy on it with some kind of little spaceship-looking thing around it.
Years and years and years ago, I did a quadcopter, and actually, I just gotten this camera. That's how old this thing is.
Oh, what's that? The original run cam?
Yep, I got a couple of them. I dip painted this one.
Nice.
I love these. I had a run cam too, and I got rid of it. These are better. I don't, image quality isn't, but I think the actual like light compensation and the way they deal with sunlight and everything is better. Anyway, I mounted it to my quadcopter. I don't even remember what was going on, but I put a little Snoopy in front of the camera, so you just like caught the side of Snoopy, and he was like flying the Red Baron, and I did the whole Red Baron Snoopy freaking audio, and I made a video, and it was actually pretty funny. I think it's still up there.
Make an old school boom box, a real big one, you carry around your skateboard and put that on a quad. Have it play music. Then you can muffle down the sound to the quadcopter, the propellers.
Yeah, this thing does scream too. You try and fly it nice, just kind of cruising it when people are around, and when you punch it, everyone just stops and they want to know what's going on. I was flying this morning, and the park ranger decided to pull up about 20 feet away from me and take a nap. I was like, well, good luck, buddy. I am flying a fast 6S quad, and that thing is loud. I don't know why he chose the spot right where I was standing, but
they actually let you fly them in a park, huh?
well, there's no law that they can use to stop me. So
yeah, here in Vegas, you can't do anything anywhere pretty much.
Yeah, that's because Vegas is terrible.
And I live near Nellis Air Force Base on top of it. I mean, if I bought a quad with a camera, I could probably take it out front in my street and keep it down low and don't peek over nobody's backyard and get away with it. But as soon as I go up higher and going around the neighborhood, somebody probably turn me in.
Specifically in Vegas, though, you just can't fly it on the strip, and the rest of the rules apply. It's federal, so it's not state level. There are some cities that prevent you from taking off and landing. That would be illegal. Because they can't control the airspace, but they can control the ground. Yeah. You would just, if you have a small one, like this little guy here that I'm building, this little 3-inch prop setup, this one is under the weight requirements, so you don't need to register it with the FAA or anything. And then that's it. You can just fly it all you want. Don't fly it over people and,
Remember the kid that put the freaking pistol on the quadcopter? A couple years ago. It was all over the news and everything.
Zolan had this copter at Murph yesterday. Zolan posted a video.
People don't realize he was in a state park with a gun mounted on a quadcopter filming it, which I don't really give a crap other than you don't do that in a state park.
Well, you can't fly any quad in a state park, period.
Zolan,
federal parks,
Zolan posted a video. He was at Murph yesterday flying his drone around inside. He had his goggles on sitting at a table, but of course that's on private property and he got their permission to do it. So he's flying around the whole thing everywhere above everybody and stuff, but he got permission.
Right. Well, and that breaks down into a couple different parts too. You have the part 107. Potentially, if he's making money for flying that, making a video, which then gets views and monetized, he could actually be on the hook for violating the law, unless he already has the Part 107.
He has a lot of different licenses that he has got for his drone.
Right. Yeah, exactly. He probably has that already.
Hey, what's
and if you're flying a small one, it's...
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
There's your rocking chair.
Your ears were burning. I was talking about you earlier, and I couldn't think of your name.
Yeah, I almost fell asleep in the lawn chair outside, and then I was listening to you guys, and I thought, hey, I might as well get up now. I got to get rid of my starlight here.
Yeah, a little starlight never hurt anyone.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you can buy a machine, if it can't make you money, you don't want to own it.
Yep, it's got to make me money.
And you're into anything and everything.
Yeah, it's like a girl there. It's got to make me money.
You're in a laser CNC. I don't know if you're in resin, FDM. You got a business. You got robotic arms. You got all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, I got 2 lasers that I built and CNCs and 12 3D printers here. And you guys are talking about PET G, all this stuff here. PET G is the second easiest to do. And it works awesome because it's stronger.
Well, have you found that does it come down to a particular brand that works well for you? I mean, I've never found one that I can consistently get a good print. Are you using Kira or Idea Maker, or which one you using? Prusa Slicer most of the time. I'll use Kira too.
You got a Prusa machine then?
No, I've got a Core XY that I built myself.
Oh God!
Because I could send you all my settings. Here's all the old units that I used to make out of PET G, and they all come out perfect for the old machines I had 12, 13 years ago.
I'd take it anything to give me a leg up trying to.
Everything. I can get these same settings I use on all 12 of my machines, and there's 1, 2, 3, 7 different machines.
What are they? The i3 machines?
See, I use for my business. I produce production parts. It's two CR10s, the first ones that came out. I have 4 king runes, little king runes. I have 3 of the FL Sun Q5s, and then I used 1 Ender 3 and 1 Ender 5.
So they're all bed slingers, but the Ender 5.
They're all what?
Bed slingers go back and forth.
Bed slingers, where the bed goes back and forth instead of the bed
Yep,
dropper.
yep. They're XYZ. They're XYZ, except for my 3 FL Suns. Them are the deltas, and then I have a big Anycubic delta, and them FL Suns, man, them are pumping out parts, and they are smoother than they are good looking parts right out of the box.
JD, give him your email in private chat so he can copy it down. He can help you out here.
Yeah, I'll send you. I can send you my. I send you my settings. I use the same identical settings. I was using 15.4 Cura because the way the code is written, everything came out perfect, and I never want to switch because I got to keep pumping out these parts for different companies. So then Llama got me on that Idea Maker a year ago, and now I switched everything over to that.
Take care, Chris.
That stuff is awesome.
I haven't tried it out yet.
That stuff is awesome.
Dude, Idea Maker is made for the Core XY. I don't know why, but when I went to this Core XY, when I first built it, I could not get Cura. I could not get Prusa Slicer to ever do it. And literally, that's when Angus Maker's Muse did his slicer thing 4 or 5 years ago, and said, "Oh, you got to try this Idea Maker." I'd never even heard of it, and I was like, "All right, I'll try it." Freaking hooked it up, instant awesome prints out of this thing. Just
I'll tell you what, no offense about anything, but I tore apart a couple. What was that company that first came out with printers? Pettit. What was the name? MakerBot.
Oh, MakerBot.
XYZs. I tore some of them apart to repair them. But you talk about junk, and I mean junk. I would never own an XYZ, but for what you were showing before, you're under extruding big time with that, with your settings. If I use the same settings.
This was a particular bad one.
Okay, I use the same settings as PLA, except for identical settings on all my machines, same as PLA, except for the heat is bumped up to 240 on my nozzle, and then the bed I bump up to 70 instead of 60. I use mirrors and hairspray, but that's not your problem. It looks like them things were under extruded.
What about your fan? What about your blower fan?
Nope, I use this. I do the same thing with PETG. I do the same thing I do with PLA.
Except for temp.
Really?
Okay.
Yep, except for temps. And I made a lot of PETG because of the heat because in a car, nylon is indestructible. I take a hammer and hit my nylon parts, and they will not break. But that's one of the toughest ones to. I got a picture here. I'll show you my nylon.
Yeah, I do a lot of printing with nylon, and it's great fresh out of the dehydrator, and it's great for a couple hours, and then your prints start to suck.
Hey, Dick,
super dry.
did you write down his email?
Carbonate's not quite that bad, but it needs to be dry too.
Yeah, I think I showed you guys. Yeah, I showed you guys my. It never comes out of the. It never gets out in the air. I'm looking for a photo here. I got a photo. It's a wine box. That's what it is. It comes directly out of with desiccate. I know where I got that file. Hold on. It's on these photos here. Pages, and now I got to find my photos, my old photos. Camera roll. Here it is. I'll show you what I got, what I use. I never let the air. It comes right out of this. I got this full of desiccate. It's a wine box.
Cardboard box.
Cardboard wine box, and I got it all sealed up, and there's a pile of desiccate in the bottom, and then I got a piece of PVC through the middle, and then the poly flow goes right into the 3D printer, and it never gets the air because you'll know right away if something's wrong with that. It'll pop, snapple, and crack just like Rice Krispies when you're printing if there's any moisture.
Yeah, I really need to build a dry box like that where I can have it connected straight into the extruder.
Yeah, I take it out of the bag, throw it in the box quick, and and it's all sealed up. And then there's about 2 inches of that Desica stuff, beads in the bottom.
Dixon,
Yeah,
he
silicone
posted his
beads.
email in private chat for you.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
could
I'll
send
take
you.
it,
Send you photos of my old settings in Kira, and then I can send you. I could actually send you a profile if you want, where you can go look at all the settings for Idea Maker.
Sure. Yeah, and any slicer, it doesn't matter. I can.
If you
I
cure
can
his
pop it
problem,
up.
he'll send you a sticker.
But make sure you're
This one,
not.
right?
Let me copy this. I'm
sticker.
going to copy this and put it in my email. Make sure.
Uh-oh.
Little stuff.
Nothing wrong.
I did get some fresh stickers here for the Cyber Duck Cafe.
Cool.
Sticker app. Actually, pretty nice. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I used
Trying a
stickers
bunch of
when they had
those.
a special, like 50 for $19 on a special, both neon or whatever you call them, psychedelic holographic stickers. And then my dog bought 50, my wife bought 50, and I bought 50. And then I got like 3 packs. I've got 1 pack left.
You know, you got to check out Sticker Mule. When I went and ordered, I always do when they do their deals. I did the tape. They have the packaging tape. They put your name on it and everything. And I was just for a joke. It was like you buy the roll, you get one of these rolls for, I don't know, $5 or whatever it was. And I'm like, well, I wonder how much another roll it is. So I just added another roll to the cart. It was a penny.
Wow.
So I got 2 rolls for the same deal. And it was normal.
Nice.
Hey, Tim, how you
2
doing?
rolls than our normal single roll was. So it's like I got 2 rolls of them.
If anybody wants to drop in, there's a pin post for the link if you want to pop in.
Yeah, and I actually need to run. I gotta get ready for my stream that's starting up here in about an hour.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
hope that Dixon shoots that over to you. I don't have a way.
yeah, that'll be awesome to check out.
Post a link to your stream.
I know how it is. You have trouble and you want help. You help people do things and you want help, and sometimes it's hard to get. So yeah, I hope he can help you out.
I'll drop this here in the private chat if you want to repost it. It starts at 4 o'clock my time, so like an hour and a half from now.
Game Ambassador, watch CNC Kitchens. He just did a video last night or this morning on filament recycling on a filament extruder. It was more on the extruder unit. He's going to do another video about recycling it, but he showed some of the things that came out of that.
The best filament to recycle has got to be the PETT, or just like, PET from a 2-liter bottle.
Yep.
If you can strip that and then feed that through an extruder so you get at least a semi-decently uniform filament out of it.
Yeah, they say the Mountain Dew bottles are awesome to recycle.
It's a nice color.
I hear the hardest part is getting it clean. Like if there's even the littlest bit of soda or water or anything left, screws it all up. I guess. I don't know. Never tried it.
Well, I got to jump off here. See you guys. And thanks, often. I'll keep an eye out for that email.
Yeah.
Yep.
See you later.
I actually kind of want to try it too. Send it to me.
Sure.
I want to see the. I want to try someone else's. Yeah, I'm trying to do 18 different things, and now I'm not thinking. Someone else's PETG profile.
Did you have your Jared
I'm
tell the
doing
story?
it on my own, and it just never works. I mean, I've gotten good. I mean, my quadcopter is all PETG. I've gotten good PETG prints. It's just very few.
They used to print good for me, and then all of a sudden one day I started getting string, and I don't know what I screwed up, but I usually get a lot of stringing.
Yeah.
It could get fussy sometimes, PETG.
And then I just ordered
results. Great. I've never had great results with it. Let me say that.
PLA Plus. I just got 10 more rolls coming from GST 3D. It was $99.90 free shipping in the US. 10 rolls of white.
Yeah. What do they mean by plus though?
Something is added to it, so I don't know what's added to it. I don't know. It's on their site. It explains it, but I don't know exactly. But it's a little.
They added $3 more to the roll.
It's like a PLA and
that's the plus.
PET, I think it's a PLA and a PETG mix.
Yeah, they're coming out with a lot of different stuff. I can't really say because I get a bunch of rolls that I never got a chance to test from other companies, but I stayed with Cellutech because I can't be messing around when I'm making a lot of parts. They have to stay. So I take a lot of notes and I stay right with what works. So I've been buying from Cellutech.
I love 3D Soltech, but since they went from $15.99 up to like $20, I haven't bought it in a while. They used to pay $15.99 to buy their silver metal. I love their white and their silver metal.
Are you talking PLA now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I get it. I get Cellutechs. I get for $18 a roll.
PETG or PLA?
PLA.
Okay.
PETG is a little bit more.
Yeah. I used to buy their PLA all the time off Amazon. It was like
well, I buy so many rolls from them. I think that's why I just repeat. I hit buy again, and I think that's why they're keeping the price there.
Everyone keeps talking about using the PLA settings for their PETG. I do the same thing right now. Printing TPU. I literally use my PLA settings. I don't even have a separate setting for TPU anymore.
And this week,
I got a regular.
Everyone's like, "How do you do that? You got to change your attractions."
Yeah, I don't.
No,
yeah,
it just spits out, and it's beautiful.
I don't have direct drive, and I have a prototype machine, King Rune down at work for prototyping, and I let everything the same as PLA, and I put TPU in there, and I don't have direct drive. The only difference is I had to turn it way down to 40%, and it printed perfect. The PTU.
I don't touch a damn thing. No fan changes, nothing. I literally hit my PLA settings and go.
Yeah.
I don't even have a separate anything. Fans, speeds, extrusion. Now this is direct drive, and it's a pretty fancy direct drive made for TPU. So, but even if I didn't have that, any of my printers. I
understand there's a lot of people that haven't been printing like you and I as long, so they don't know. But when you're doing this crap for 14 years, it just comes. It's so easy. But
I don't know. I've just never had good luck with PETG. It's always been a pain in the butt.
There's certain parts on that I made for printing presses for machines, and that certain parts that had to have that strength, and that's where PETG helped out.
Polycarbonate, baby. Polycarbonate is so much stronger.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I never tried that. I know ABS is nice, but it's a pain in the ass. I always gotta, I put a bag or I put a plant thing over the machine so to keep the heat in there because it fluctuates so much while it's drying.
If you ever print nylon, you'll have no problems printing polycarbonate. Dude, I'm
gonna try that. I'm gonna try a roll once since you said that.
Get it, because Snow Labs has the right now. If you buy a roll, your first roll, if you've never bought from Snow Labs, they give you like 20% off your first roll of polycarbonate.
What's the company?
Snow Labs.
All right, I gotta try that polycarbonate.
Nope. Yeah, theirs is a polycarbonate plus, and he outright says it's an additive to make it print easier and lower the temperature. And I think he just adds PETG to it, to be honest.
That's what I'm wondering if they're doing stuff like that. Who knows if they get the formula right?
Yeah, and it prints like, dude. I have no problems printing it. You're supposed to have exposure. You're supposed to worry about the humidity. I'm in like one of the most humid places you can be, and I do not enclose it. I do, like I said earlier, I have like paper that I droop inside the printer when I print PE or polycarbonate because you don't want airflow going over it. You turn your fans right off. You don't want any.
Okay.
You don't want.
Are they on Amazon?
Huh?
Are they on Amazon?
No, it's Snow Labs. SLO Labs. There's no W.
Yep, I'm gonna check into it but that Idea Maker, man, that is the cat's meow. I've been using that for I think maybe a year, and it's like because I needed that for certain parts I'm designing for companies. I need to put an insert in, so then there's certain areas in these pieces that I can make solid, and that's what I like a lot. I never got into the newer Kira. It was always the older Kira.
I just posted it in the chat, a direct link to it.
Yeah, 3D Jeff. I've used about 8 rolls so far. It prints fine.
Oh, yeah.
When I first bought PLA Plus, I was having trouble getting it to stick to the bed. I fixed that problem, and then it prints great. That's what I just showed you here a minute ago. I'm printing some right now on my Prusa-Mini. Yeah, it prints fine. I just ordered 10 more rolls. And Yoav, Mr. Bedelli talking about 0.3. I print all his parts at 0.20. And as far as for layers, print how you normally print. Most things I print 644, 6 top, 4 bottom, 4 side. Typically, depends what you're printing. But Droid parts always print at 0.20 like a base or something. This rocket, Goo talks about printing at 0.1. No reason to. There's no fine detail. I printed at 0.20. It's perfectly fine for most things. Unless it's a figure with a lot of details, little tiny hands, I'll print at 0.12 or hands at 0.1. But usually 0.20 millimeter works fine for everything. So sorry I interrupted.
I'm actually printing it like 0.24 right now with TPU. But I am using a 0.6 nozzle too. I don't even bother with 0.4 nozzles anymore. Takes too long. And again, I'm not printing pretty. I'm printing mechanical. So I don't care if it's a perfect layer line or as long as it fits and does the job, I don't give a crap. Oh yeah, 5 top and 5 bottom is plenty if you're doing 0.2. 4 or 5 is good. Anything more than that's just kind of a waste. Again, unless you want for some structural reason.
It all depends on your print time, And like this model, I think is like 5% infill. It didn't even need to be that. He suggested 15. There's no reason for it. So.
Yeah, 0.8. Yeah. I was using a 0.8 forever on this. I kind of went back to the 0.6 because I was having, with the polycarbonate, I was having a problem of it wasn't melting it fast enough. I was actually having to print slower because I was using the 0.8 nozzle because the hot end couldn't keep up with it. I didn't have like a volcano or whatever hot end. So it literally wasn't, I was spitting out hard plastic in the core of the, and it wasn't melting it enough. So I went to the 0.6 so I could actually print faster because it can keep up with melting in a smaller diameter hole.
Yeah, 3D Jeff, I got 10 more coming out. Hopefully they're all great they'll definitely get replaced.
Yeah, that's about what I did. I was doing a 0.26 to 0.28 when I printed with the 0.8 nozzle. And it did. The only thing, again, about the 0.8 was like I was getting corners that were too rounded for some of the stuff I was doing.
Their spools
0.8 nozzle works great.
I've never used a 0.8 nozzle. I have a 0.6 on my Max, which I just recently started using a little bit. But for all these years, I've used a brass 0.4 for everything. And I'm just now starting to dabble with a 0.6.
I'm all steel. I stopped dealing with brass years ago.
Typically on a brass nozzle,
a little bit and just go.
Most of the time on a brass nozzle.
Did that affect your prints at all, going to steel like that with all the same settings? Did that change anything?
No, I kicked the temp up when I went to a steel nozzle.
Oh, 10 degrees or 5 degrees?
It depends.
I suppose once it's heated up, it's heated up. What's the difference?
Well, there is a difference. And here's the thing people don't realize. When you're printing like PLA or TPU, when the fan is going, the part cooling fan, the material at the very tip of the nozzle just before it comes out is cooling faster. And steel will cool faster than brass.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
You put the temperature up, not because of inside the hot end. It's that last, 1 millimeter of exposed nozzle that the fan's blowing on. You need to bump it up with a steel nozzle because the steel will cool faster with the fan blowing on.
Yeah, you would think it would take longer to heat, too. It would expand a little different.
Yeah, I pretty much run it 210.
That's what all my settings are for everything, 210 on the nozzle.
Yep. That's pretty much my start with anything. And then if a certain material needs a little more or a little less, I'll adjust. But 210 is PLA, TPU, pretty much everything unless there's some reason.
Filament cleaner.
The only thing I had to bump up to 250 he or 255. He says 250. It should work at 250. I'm like, the steel nozzle needs 250. I need that extra 5 degrees.
I've noticed their spools, Jeff, 3D Jeff. They have a white chalky substance on the outside of their pink spools sometimes. As far as for a filament cleaner, I wouldn't know what to do other than take my air compressor and blast the spool and see if anything blows off of it.
Yeah, I don't know what Tim's are. The only, and actually I think that's what's on here. The only brass I still use on occasion, and I think it's actually on there now, I'll get the Micro Swiss coated brass. I love those. I love those a lot, but they still wear out. The seals just never wear out. I never have to worry about them. Like, it's been on that thing since I got it. It's had the same freaking nozzle on it since day one. Actually, that has that nozzle on it. It was on here for 4 or 5 years, and I had that extruder on here because that's the one he gave me, that hot end, and I just flopped it over and bought a new nozzle for this one when I got it. So that nozzle has been on this printer for like 6 years. The original Micro Swiss steel nozzle I've had forever, and it works just fine. I never have to worry about replacement. I never worry about the extrusion width. It's just always 0.6 and go. It just works.
Alrighty.
TPUs prefer steel nozzle, to be honest with you.
Well, I need to run, guys. So Tom and Dick, you guys have a great day.
Hey, have a good one.
Hope to see everybody Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific. I've got tons of giveaways on my channel.
No.
Please come like. Yeah. Anyway.
Nobody go to Gary's stream. I want to win it all.
Yeah, you tell them nobody going, and they'll flood.
Yeah.
They'll flood there.
Take care now. Thank you.
No, don't go. Don't go. Nobody goes. I get to win it all.
You say that, and all of a sudden you'll get thousands of emails. I'm coming.
He knows I'm just joking with him. Everyone go to Jerry's stream next Saturday and win all this stuff.
Yeah, he knows that.
Anyway, I gotta go too because I gotta feed Mom pretty soon, and I want to take.
All right,
dude, look
have
at
a
that.
good one.
It's soaked. It's not even that hot. I mean, it's humid and hot here, but it's only like 75 degrees in here, and I don't even have the. I just got a fan running. I don't even have the AC going.
You're in Pennsylvania or something, aren't you? Out east. Connecticut. That's it. Okay, I'm in Wisconsin.
Right on the water. That's my problem. It's actually down. It's down to like 75% humidity. It was even higher earlier.
It was really hot here, but now the storms went through. It's gorgeous. It dropped from, it was like 80-some, 89. Now it's 62 today. That's nice.
Where are you at?
Wisconsin.
Oh. I thought
62.
You guys were part of the whole heat wave thing.
Well, we did. It was hotter than heck, and we got all them thunderstorms yesterday. Went through, and now it's 62. It's gorgeous out.
Yeah, I think all the heat you had is now headed my way.
Yes, them storms should be coming your way too.
Yeah, we got those already. They went
because Michigan was getting hammered. Wisconsin and Michigan was getting hammered. It
was absolutely gorgeous Thursday and Friday, like 70 degrees and like almost no humidity, which is near impossible here on the shore. And it was like 30% humidity. It was unreal low for this area. It was good. Yeah. I was cold. I was out in the sun at 70, 75 degrees, and the breeze would blow, and I would feel cold. It was bizarre because the humidity was so low. Anyway, I'm gonna kill it because I got to go feed moms.
All right, later.
Later, guys. Thanks for showing up. Bye.